Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast. This is our week 8 best bets episode for the contest. As you can tell by the screen, there are no cameras today. We have to do a quick episode, a quick run. Don't have our editor. Dynel and I are extremely busy. As you can tell, I missed you guys on Thursday. Dynel, as he does always, held it down. We've got 5 picks for you guys, as we always do, each and every best bets episode. But before we get into those 5 picks, let me bring on my co-host, my right hand man, my dude. Now, welcome back, man.
Yeah, what's going on, my guy? I should be saying welcome back to you,
Yes, sir.
motherfucker.
Thank you.
Shit,
Thank you.
you've been running crazy these last few these last few weeks, huh?
Oh,
Shit,
dude,
FedEx got
the
y'all moving.
worst.
Hey, don't worry. I sent a message to all of Delaware to let Delaware and Salisbury people to let you know, hey, take it easy. We're about to come up with holiday season, and I need you. So I told them to chill out with the fucking package buying. So let's get into it, bro. Let's go ahead and let's deliver a package to our fans here, and that's a 5-0 week.
Yeah, I think I've went up and down more stairs than Rocky this past week. We've got 5 picks, 3 1 o'clock games, a 4 o'clock game, and or maybe is
It's four. No, you're
4,
right.
and then a prime time.
Prime time. Yep.
We got prime time. So 3 weeks in a row we got prime time. Hopefully they don't let us down for the 3rd week in a row. But let's not dilly dally anymore, Donnell. Let's get right into it.
Let's go.
Leading us off, they let us off last week. They let us down last week. They let us down by a point last week. But there has been a change in Cleveland, Donnell. We have the
Mhm.
Cleveland Browns plus 8.5 versus the Ravens in a AFC North matchup. We've got the Browns with a rejuvenated quarterback. The team looked great when Jameis was in there, led a touchdown drive against the Bengals last week. Dino and I looked at each other, and the first thing he said to me was, "We're going to have to do it again, aren't we?" And I started laughing because he definitely said, Jameis Winston, 2+ touchdowns. It's going to happen. The Ravens team has been very underwhelming on defense. Not getting too much pass rush, and their secondary has been very underwhelming. You saw Marlon Humphrey got banged up last game. Kyle Hamilton a little dinged up. And now you have Jameis Winston with a chip on his shoulder. He's been begging to play football. Granted, not meaningful football, but he has a chance to put himself back on the map. And he's got a realistic opportunity to put up some real stats versus Ravens team. You got Nick Chubb back. He got into the end zone. You've got hungry wide receivers. And, Dionel said it best last week. You have players playing for something now. It doesn't matter about the wins and losses at this point. It comes down to I have a chance to make my name and to get paid. Go somewhere else. Be somewhere else. Become a starter. And that's all that's on this Browns team. We still have Myles Garrett on defense who's going to be making plays. Denzel Ward looked incredible last week.
Yes.
There's
Oh my
not,
goodness. It's reps.
yeah, it's unreal. Like, there's talent all the way around this roster, and we're getting a divisional dog at home over the key number 8.5. Dino, I mean, why do we do this to ourselves?
I mean, shit. I mean, you gotta think about it too. I mean, look what we're dealing with. We're not dealing with, you're not dealing with Deshaun Watson anymore. Okay, that's in and out the door. And what's crazy about it is, Jared, I'm gonna say this out loud too. What's up with teams sleeping on Jameis? Like, remember when the Saints had Jameis Winston as a backup quarterback, and it's like for the life of them, they didn't want to play him whatsoever. But right now, they got Spencer Rattler starting on the other side for the Saints right now. They could use Jameis Winston right now. I honestly believe Jameis Winston has the capability to vertically move this offense vertically. He can stretch your ball downfield a little bit and being able to actually be a threat passing the ball. Nick Chubb will be returning for his second week back, so expect a little bit more reps and a little bit more fluidity coming from there. And I guess I just think 8.5 points is too big for a vulnerable defense. That defense is still vulnerable, even though they did cover last week. So with that being said, Browns at home plus 8.5. I got a better quarterback back there. My starting running back's coming back. I got a great defense behind me. What are we talking about?
Dude, call me crazy, but would you be surprised if the Browns pulled this out and won?
No,
Like,
And I must say no because this will be the one trap game for the Ravens where there's one little step, that little hiccup, a division game. You know what I'm saying? A rejuvenated team right now. Like I said, a different type feel with a different quarterback, a little bit more moxie. The offense got some juice now, a little bit, I believe. So yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if they, if honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns drop 24 to 30, like 24 points by
yeah,
around that range, 27
I
points.
agree. I feel like this is Jameis Winston could throw for 300 plus 3 touchdowns. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
literally.
not kidding. Like, this is definitely a game I'm going to target. This is the game I'm going to watch. And I will say this, guys. I know a lot of you guys play teasers and parlays, and I'm just going to say this. Be wary of the Ravens. They are not a free square this week. I'm
No,
telling you right
not
now,
at all.
be careful with the teaser, be careful with the money line parlay because it's always one big dog that somehow squeaks out a win. And remember, this is the NFL and you have players with a chip on their shoulder, and those are the scariest teams to play. Number 2, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, another desperate team, another team at home, plus 4.5 against the Packers. Dino and I really had to dissect this. We looked
Mhm.
into everything. We looked into the running game, the defense, the offense, the coach, the scheme, the situation, and there's one thing that we kind of collectively came to the agreement of, and it was contain Josh Jacobs. If you can contain Josh Jacobs and make the Packers throw the ball, we have seen time and time again that Jordan Love will give defenses an opportunity to pick him off. I mean, he's got 8 this year. He's thrown for a lot of touchdowns, but he also has 8 interceptions. And on the other side, the Packers have been struggling to contain the run game. We saw it last week. Dino pointed out Joe Mixon had a clinic. CJ Stroud under 100 passing yards and barely lost. Okay? There is a thing going on in Jacksonville right now where this guy Tank
Mhm.
Bigsby has been wrecking defensive lines. Ask the Patriots. Travis Etienne looks like he's trying to rush back because Bigsby has looked so good, rushing for about 6 yards a carry. And if we can get Trevor Lawrence to hand the ball off a little bit more than he usually does, get this running game solidified early into this game, and set up the play action pass, Dino and I agreed that Brian Thomas really
Yeah,
excels
yeah.
on this play
Hmm.
action game. We saw it last week. The guy has just been getting targets in the red zone, targets on 3rd and long. He's been the anchor of this team. And we saw when the Patriots started doubling him and bringing safety help, Gabe Davis comes out of nowhere. Christian Kirk with a long reception. So there's a lot of weapons, but they have to do it in the right way. And the Jags, if they run the ball and get the running game solidified, slow the pace down, and if they get a lead and the Packers are forced to throw the ball more, that only works in our favor because I know the Jaguars defense has not been doing great, but we know Jordan Love has a history this year for making errant passes. And if we can get him to turn the ball over once, this 4.5 will be crucial. And I mean, Dino, plus 4.5, the number is so key.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, you give me two key numbers. I get protected by the 3 and the 4, no matter way how you flip it, no matter you flip it in the game. And on top of that, you know what's funny? I hope ETN doesn't play. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a whole 100%. I hope he doesn't play because there's one thing that really grinds my gears about Travis Etienne, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows it. He fumbles the ball entirely too much in critical situations, non-critical situations, blowouts, close games at home, on the road, cold, warm, don't matter. He's dropping the pill. And that's been like my biggest gripe with them. And it literally puts the Jags in so many precarious situations that they did not need to be in. Tanks Bigsby has not fumbled the ball. I don't remember Tanks Bigsby fumbling the ball at all so far. And he's been chugging away. The Packers gave up 125 rushing yards to Joe Mixon last week. And then he wasn't the only motherfucker that was running the ball. So that's going to be the way the game. Jared really won me over when he also said the way to beat the Packers is how you be physical and smash mouth football. The Jaguars literally identified that last week against the Patriots. They should literally keep the same exact game plan this week, and they'll be able to honestly keep it close against the Packers and honestly maybe win. Because here's what I will say: Trevor Lawrence has not turned the ball over. I mean, has not. I'm sorry, has not thrown interceptions. He's only thrown 3 interceptions this year. So as long as they can control the time of possession and keep the ball in their hands and control the clock. You're putting pressure on Jordan Love to be perfect, and we already know he has not been perfect at all this year. So, hey, at home, two key numbers. Keep the ball on your side, time of possession. You don't turn the ball over as much. You definitely back that. Definitely back that.
I think the easiest way to look at this game is Josh Jacobs has ran the ball already for 120 attempts this year. The Jaguars defense is top 6 against the rush.
There
If
you
you
go.
watch this first half, right? If you watch this first half and Josh Jacobs is just getting whatever he wants, I'm not going to be mad at you if you buy out of your position and take the Packers on the other side. Because we know if Josh Jacobs gets going and gets his yards consistent, getting first downs and just explosive runs, then
Yep.
I don't think the
There goes the
Jags will
Packers.
have a chance to keep up because everything else is going to fall apart. So brick by brick, let's stop this run. Let's play to our strength, and the Jags will keep this game close. Dino, here's a baton. Tell him the third pick of the week.
The third pick of the week may be a surprise to you guys, but honestly, I think we really got at a great number due to a situation. We got the Miami Dolphins at home, minus 3.5 against the Cardinals, and let's be real. The fact that Tyreek Hill only had 2 targets last week and 1 catch is absolutely abysmal. I don't know how that's even possible. It was crazy about it is I don't even know how you even scheme it to a way he does not get at least 4, 5, 6 targets. I mean, way more than that. And I think Tua opens up the offense to the point where, okay, now Mike McDaniel can get in his bag and get Tyreek Hill the ball a little bit more. Or honestly, there was no excuse anyway. He should be getting targets anyway. So with Tua coming back, we're backed by a quarterback who knows who can give Tyreek Hill the ball, Jalen Wild the ball, become vertical with the offense. And we're back, and we're going against let's be honest, a team who's a shell of themselves. Honestly, you should have lost last week's a miraculous play where Kyler Murray once again throws a pick, and it takes a Herculean effort from his receiver to force a fumble and then the ball back for them to kick the field goal and win the game. So the Cardinals are trending downwards right now. The last 3 games have been very underwhelming to say the least. And I don't know where James Conner has been. Where has James Conner been? Is James Conner has kind of disappeared from the offense? Marvin Harrison Jr. has not been a factor because apparently it's not Kyler Murray's job to give him the ball. But it technically is right now because that's the one receiver that can make a difference for you. But hey man, that's just me. And like I said, I feel like we're getting it at that low of a number only because Tua's just now coming back. If Tua was really playing steadily, we all knew the Dolphins would be in a different situation. This would be damn near a 7 to 10 point spread in other situations. I feel like we take advantage of getting the fact that we only got 3.5 at home for the Dolphins. Tua's back, so the offense finally opens up. Even when he first be coming back, Huntley wasn't doing it. Thompson wasn't going to do it. So they finally got comparable quarterback play for this offense to at least get 25 points, 30 points, 25, at least 20 to 24 points.
Yeah, Dino said it. It's a Dolphins team with deflated value right now. We got to buy them low. The public is
Mm-hmm.
off the Dolphins. They've looked bad. They haven't been fun to watch. They don't score. And now you have Tua coming back, and he's going to throw the ball. And he's going to throw it to Tyreek Hill a lot. So Jonnu Smith has been impressive for the Dolphins over the last few weeks.
Yes.
He's been the quick, easy dump off target, and now he's going to be very involved in this offense. And Tua has been right on the sideline watching this. It's not like he's been away or up in the booth. Like he's been on the sideline watching this. And Jonnu Smith consistently makes big plays for this defense or for this offense. And going forward, I wouldn't be surprised if he's still heavily included. And that means that's just another weapon for him to use. So we like the Dolphins this week. I feel like it's just such a buy low spot. 3.5. I'd probably play them all the way up to 4.5 confidently. But give us the Dolphins minus 3.5 for the third pick. Fourth pick of the week may come by surprise. And I hate to do this to Dynell, but we are taking the Chicago Bears minus 1.5 versus the Washington Commanders. And it kind of boils down to this. The Commanders have been on top of the world the last few weeks, scoring point after point. Even Marcus Mariota came in last week and just whooped ass. And the public right now is all over this Commanders team, rightfully so. I mean, I cannot knock them for it. But we do know one thing. Jaden Daniels is banged up. And Dino kind of made a good point to me when we kind of came to the solution of this. pick, and he said, "Why force Jaden Daniels to play this game? You're 5-2, 5-2,
5-2. Yep.
and it's not like this. It's not to say this in front of Dynel, but this team is not in win now mode. They've looked good. They've had a good stretch, but this team needs to prioritize Jaden Daniels' health over a week 8 game against the Bears. And the Bears the last 2 weeks have put up 34 and 35 points respectively, and they have been finding their rhythm. DJ Moore and Keenan Allen are finally took half the season, but they're finally kind of coming into coexistence with each other. And the looks from DJ Moore and Keenan Allen at the beginning of the year kind of looked like, oh shit, 3 and out again, and like kind of like worriness and frustration, but it's kind of changed into like, holy shit, this guy can make a pass, this guy can make a play, he can make a read, and the game is slowing down for Caleb Williams, and you see that week after week. He's having consistent passing yards, he's throwing touchdowns, he's getting targets, and it's a matter of the defense getting pressure on the quarterback. And I told Dino, I said, I hate to say this, but Montez Sweat is coming for blood this week. And the one reason Dino and I like to bet on the Bears a lot is because of the defensive line. The Caleb Williams is going to have a chance to really put up points against this Commanders secondary. This may be a shootout. This seriously may be a shootout. I like the Bears in the spot. We're getting them at -1.5 and in the contest, and we've seen that the books have they've already bumped it up to 3. That may be a telltale sign that Jaden Daniels doesn't play this week. So we're going to take the Bears -1.5. Dino, I'm not going to make you torture your own team if you don't want to. You can go right to pick 5, or you can give your input.
Oh no, I'm gonna give the input too. I mean, like I said, guys, you never first things first. Don't let your heart get in the way of your money. That's what first and foremost, and you learn that through life and very, very easily.
Damn, man, put that
And
on a T-shirt.
yeah, damn right. And you got to understand too, guys. And I've been expressing this throughout the year. I don't know really too much on the podcast, but to the people I really talk to about the Commanders is we got to kind of stay calm a little bit because we know this defense is ass. This defense is still ass. Last week was not a sign look towards nothing. We played an ass offense, ass quarterback, ass scheme, everything ass. In fact, the crazy thing is they scored the touchdown. They only scored 7 points, and the 7th point came with like a minute left in the game. So that team was ass. All right, that whole Panthers organization is going through a whole, I don't know what, a whole revelation right now, a whole revolution, because they need a whole do-over. They need a whole do-over. And like you said, this Bears offense has looked very, 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 very good these last couple of weeks. Caleb Williams has looked very good the last couple of weeks. I think 3 or 4 touchdowns in that game in London against the Jags. You can tell he's finally getting to his footing. His receivers and himself are starting to get into it on the same page. And to be honest with you, that's the biggest weakness on the Commanders is that secondary. Let's be real, guys. Do y'all trust Emmanuel Forbes out there? And do you trust Mimi St. Juste out there? No, you don't. You don't. There's a rookie corner. Our best corner is our rookie corner from Michigan, Mike Sandstrill. And that's not boding well against a receiving core like that and a quarterback as like a Caleb Williams. So just be real with it. Just be honest about it. Yeah, it's at home, but the defense still sucks no matter if it's a road on the way. And I do expect the Bears. It takes me to say this, and the fan in me wants to say Commanders win this game, but you got to use your head a little bit. And we know this is a very disfavorable matchup. Bears -1.5 is the way to go.
Proud of you, my boy.
Oh yeah, come on now.
Let's get on a more positive note. Not that this is positive, but Donnell, why don't you go ahead and take us away for the 5th pick of the week?
Damn, I don't even want to, but I'll do it. Hey, Cowboys +4.5 against the 49ers this week. We laugh only because it's the Cowboys. I mean, as you know, we hate the Cowboys. But there's one thing we can't hide from. It's the fact that off the bye, the Cowboys just somehow, some way, no matter what year, they come off a bye strong and they win outright each and every time. I think Mike McCarthy against the spread is 13-3 in his buys in the league between the Packers and the Cowboys. So you got to back the trend here, and I'm comfortable backing the trend, passing 2 key numbers, and against a team who can't close a game, who can't get right as long as Christian McCaffrey's not out there. Debo's out of sorts a little bit right now. Jawan Jennings is out, who's been honestly, I believe their most consistent receiver. Brandon Ayuk is out for the year. It's just a lot going on with the 49ers right now, and with them not being able to close games, that let alone wants me to take Cowboys plus 4.5 because you get the two key numbers. But all in all, the secondary for the 49ers, I don't believe is really that talented. I don't really believe they're that good. They were just in the right situation with the right pass rushers last year. As you can see, the D line, like I told you guys, took regression, and like I told you, this whole team has regressed. So we'll take the points 4.5. Like I said, I ain't gonna hit too much on it. I ain't gonna hammer it too much. This is take it away, Jared. You got it.
So the biggest thing with me is the Cowboys off of a bye, and McCarthy being 13-3 against the spread off a bye in his coaching career is it just shows that he does something right in the bye week, and
Right.
him doing that going up against a 49ers team that hasn't looked the same on offense or defense. They're missing big playmakers. Deebo Samuel obviously shaken up from that serious pneumonia he was in the hospital with. Brandon Ayuk out for the season, and now Jawan Jennings, who's been a really hot target and a hot read for Brock Purdy. And, we talked about this over the last few weeks. Jawan Jennings is, he's projected to miss this game. That's huge. It's like, we saw George Kittle was his big target last week, and they didn't look good moving the ball. Like, they could not do it. When you rely on George Kittle as your number one option, it just shows you how stale the offense got. The running game suffered. The defense suffered. They couldn't get off the field. And you figure Mahomes threw interceptions. Brock Purdy threw 3 picks because he didn't have his guys. He was forcing new reads. Everything felt different to him. There's no comfort. And now you're coming up against a Cowboys team that also falls in that category of desperation, but they just didn't get their nuts kicked in last week like the Niners did. Like, Patrick Mahomes beat the Niners doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. No touchdown passes, throwing interceptions. Less than 200 passing yards. Like, the Chiefs they schemed the hell out of the Niners and let the Niners beat themselves. And the Cowboys are the one team where I told Dynell even if they're down 10 to 14 points, you can never count them out because they are hard-headed and they always try to score the ball. They literally did it against the Ravens and made it a close game. So we've seen this Niners team time and time again continuously fail to close games, continuously fail to put teams away, and they've been starting slow. So give us the points in a primetime matchup. The Cowboys win this game. And it hates for me to say that, but the Cowboys win this game. Mike McCarthy, his history has proven it, that he does something right in the bye week. We're going to buy that information. Give us the Cowboys plus 4.5. So that wraps us up. Browns plus 8.5, Jags plus 4.5, Dolphins minus 3.5, Bears minus 1.5, and the Cowboys plus 4.5. 3 dogs, 2 favorites. This is an incredible week. As we said, with the big favorites, tread lightly. A few that were just missed the cut. Personally, I like the Bills minus 3. I'm going to bet that on the book. We had them at minus 3.5 in the contest, so did not make the cut. Also, obviously, if you guys can get 10 plus versus the Chiefs with the Raiders, you guys know we always play that. So those 2 we had kind of had a discussion on, but they did not make our cut. So those are our 5 picks of the week. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Shred the Spread podcast. Let's get back on track. Dino, any last words for the listeners?
Same words as every podcast. Knuckleheads, make sure you guys tune in to us on X at Shred the Spread _ and follow me at Dineezy. That is at DYNEEZY. And let's make this money this week, man. Let's break the 2 and 3 curse. I'm tired of it.
That's what I like to hear. Thanks again for tuning in. We will be back next week for our Thursday night football episode. Until next time, we'll see you.
Peace.